Traders, we're back. We're talking about AMC. I'm going to go a little bit over some other stocks as well. But primarily, I just want to give a very quick rundown of what's going with AMC. We expected a bit of a breakdown. And from the last video, I saw some comments of people saying that I'm flipping on AMC. But that's not what I'm doing. Long term, I am bullish. But looking at the short term perspective, I'm going to tell you where I think it's going over the next few days. The goal is not to push the stock down or anything like that. It's just to express and shed light on the actual price action over the next few days. I'm never going to BS you, and I'm always going to keep it completely transparent. Like, subscribe, do what you got to do. Let's get to it.
I got no drip in my pocket. Must have forgot it, or maybe I already.
All right, so what we're looking at here is AMC, and there's some things I want to highlight right now. Now, you basically got 1, 2, and you can count this as 3, but really if you break this down, it was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, basically 8 tests at this range of this monthly level, and you're getting rejected consistently. But if you really want to sum them up, you can say there's 3 large tests, I guess, if you will. This is a shorter term time frame that we're looking at here, and you're getting rejected. Now, this is not bearish. I want people to understand this. This is not a long-term bearish viewpoint. I do, however, suspect a little bit of downside going into the end of the week. It's normal. You get a retracement. You retrace, and then you gear back up for more momentum back to the upside. Now, I also saw people going over Ortex and saying that, they're covering. First of all, Ortex's data is completely skewed. It's late, it's T2, T55. You never know what data you're getting or if it's even accurate. So that stuff, I would just throw it out the back of the window, shoot it down, because it's a dead dog. You don't want it. It's just nonsense. I can't even think of the words right now. So right now, you're pressing back down, and I'm looking for a test about 35.20, 35 flat down here. Now, it is also possible you test that weekly open. That would be a hard retest, and I think it would just be a wick. I just want it to be very clear. I expect a little retest of support and then a bounce back up. Now, where I'm looking for longer dated calls and for a very bullish breakout to the upside, this is what I want to see. You're going to want to see about on the 15-minute one. You're going to want to reclaim the VWAP, the dark blue line here, coming back up, a push up, a retest, and then a bounce. That retest right there is where you'd want to buy. If you can see right here, you're just shooting up and coming straight back down. You're not actually holding above this like here and then coming back down. This is what you want to see: a push, some sideways action, a breakdown, and then a bounce from that range, and that's where you buy right there. But all you're seeing right now is immediate price action of buying and then selling. So what you're seeing is you push up and you come straight back down. You push up, straight back down, right? Right here was maybe the best possible test, and you did get a bounce, but then you came right back down. But that was also the first test of the monthly, and you never expect to break it on that first try. So what I'm looking for is a push back down to about 35, 35.20, and then a push back up, and then a retest of that zone, and that's where I get those longer dated calls. You can also try to get those longs near the end of the week when we get around 35.20, because typically we stagnate, we get that option pinching going into the end of the week, and that's what I would suspect from this week. I'll get a better look at the calls going into tomorrow as well, so I can give a better overview of where I think we're going to sit at for Friday. But as of right now, I do suspect some downside and then a break, and then this is the action that you're going to want to see. So keep that in the back of your mind. I'm not bearish. It's also worth mentioning that right now the indexes are very, very bearish right now. You're seeing the Nasdaq get just absolutely obliterated at the end of the day. You're seeing the Dow get hurt so bad. And a key thing here too is CPI data is coming out, or the manufacturing information and data like that, and you're getting some other key jobless forms as well. So this is a lot of anticipation of what's going on. So I think you may have seen possibly the worst of it, but I don't want to put a cap on it just yet. And a lot of people were saying, well, Tyler, you were a bear, you didn't get calls yesterday, this, that, this, that. This is exactly why. You're underneath the monthly. There's no reason to grab call options if you're underneath a heavy, heavy resistance, because 9 times out of 10, you're going to get rejected. You buy once you mount that resistance. Once you get above and you prove that that is now a support, that's when you start to buy those calls. So for everyone hating and stuff like that, I don't really know what to say. I'm just being 100% transparent and sharing my positions with you. So I want that to be abundantly clear. Let's take a look at Pfizer. I've been covering Pfizer for a few days, and I also have people in the comments saying how your options going and trolling and stuff like that. And I get it. And it's probably, some of these other scammers that are, I try to always expose people that are scamming the community and people that are reaching out to me telling me so and so scammed me and I lost money paying for this and that. And I never want that to be in the community. And so if that ever comes across in front of me and I see it, I will 100% call it out. And now, unfortunately, I'm getting some of these people commenting on the videos and stuff like that. But I just want to like kind of address that in the air right now. So people saying, how are your options going? It's worth mentioning for the past 3 weeks, you've been on a straight parabolic run. So no matter what, your options would still be in the money. Now, what I want to address that I did today, and I addressed it yesterday as well, you're getting these immediate early morning pushes, finding these new highs, and you push for a while, actually, to about 52 right there. And then you topped off and started coming back down. Now, I took profits actually about right here, 51.5. And then we started coming back down, and then I started getting back into position and ended up closing at the end of the day when you broke below $50. That was just a key sign for me. Now, I made a killing on this, and I've seen a lot of people make a lot of money on this, but you have to know when to take profits, and you have to know when to take a loss. So when I was perfectly fine taking that second loss because I had made so much on this first run up with those options. You were making 200, 300% on whatever you put in. We posted the gains and stuff like that, and you can just ask down below how much people were making on Pfizer. Now, for people hating and stuff like that, you might miss getting back in. You might miss the second trade, okay? But you're risking basically the house's money. So if you made 30,000 and you lost 10 grand here, guess what? You're still up 20 grand from that initial move, and you risk 10 grand to possibly make another 30. You know what I mean? So that's how I'm playing this. I'm always managing my risk when I'm playing these plays as well. I'm always putting myself in a situation to stay net positive and always come out with the most profits and just profitable outcome in general for myself. It's all based on my portfolio and how we're moving. Now, I want to address going into tomorrow. They're pushing in heavy, and I wanted to address this in the video that today's close wasn't as bullish as yesterday. Yesterday, I didn't believe there was any covering. I do believe they were covering for some of the 49s, the 48s, things like that. Now, I don't think they covered for the 50s because they're pushing you below the 50. So I don't believe 50s have been covered for, but this is not a guarantee to push back up. You should manage your risk. There's potential here. This could still 100% squeeze with those 50s and the 51s for next week as well. There are still a lot of options still out there that could expire in the money, but you got to see the open interest and the volume, and it has to stay up there. It's still on my watch list. I'm 100% watching it going into tomorrow because if it starts to bounce, I'm probably going to play it again. Pfizer's been a great play. Moderna's doing very well. You're seeing FDA approval across the board on all these plays as well. And you're seeing that this is going to be a major player. And they also got a price target raise from Yahoo Finance all the way up to $62. That's pretty big. And I think Pfizer still has gas left in the tank. Just be very cautious. You had a lot of major runs. Congratulations to everyone that took profits and made money on this play. It was a good run. Okay, the last play I want to look at is going to be Robinhood. And I think a lot of people are going to like what I'm going to talk about here. Now, I mentioned going into earnings, you were going to see a pop. Guess what happened today? You gapped up and you pushed all the way to 52. You got smacked down and just started coming down, and you ended around the weekly. Now, the after hours, you pushed to 45. As of right now, I'm not looking to buy Robinhood, and I want to explain why here in a sec. Okay, so I want to explain Robinhood and why I got very bearish on it. Now, if you look at their earnings outcome and the output, the revenue doubled. Very, very bullish, but the EPS actually missed. Now, the key thing to know here is most of their revenue came from crypto trading and primarily Doge. That was just flat out the most bearish thing in my opinion. They weren't really bringing in money from that payment from order flow, and it was really killing them, and it's kind of hard to see the overall growth. Now, I do think they're going to expand on the crypto side of things, but they didn't announce anything yet. So once they announce that, that's going to be the time, in my opinion, to look at this stock. But as of right now, the next quarter of earnings looks like it's going to be horrendous and an absolute shit show. I want nothing to do with this company right now, and I do think they're going to come down. They are not pulling as much revenue as I expected personally, and it's looking terrible. I don't want to be investing in a company betting on a crypto boom for them to actually produce and turn a profit. Robinhood, I don't know what they're going to do. They have a lot of stuff to work on, but I'm telling you right now, this thing's probably coming back down to IPO price. And I know I was a big bull, but as a trader, you always have to be able to pivot based on the information you're given. And I wasn't seeing this information before, but as I see this, as of right now, I'm a short-term bear until they can fix this issue. Now, AMC, Pfizer, they still have a lot of potential. I think AMC has a pullback tomorrow. Pfizer, it's up in the air. Right now, I'm out of all my positions. I ended up closing once you got right back below 50. I turned a big profit, but I'm still looking at Pfizer for the potential play tomorrow. There's lots of opportunities in the market. You're not going to miss out on anything. I like it overall. Be patient with your entries, and that's really the key, in my opinion, to making money on the options market. Let the trades come to you. Do not force entries. Do not FOMO in, because that's typically how you end up losing the money. So like, subscribe, do what you got to do. We'll be back tomorrow. Namaste.
I'm about to take off like a rocket. Houston, we might have a problem, but that don't mean money.